Have you ever felt trapped in a spiral of negative thoughts? Like a little voice in your head is constantly pointing out the worst-case scenario, making you doubt yourself and feel anxious or down. If so, you're definitely not alone. This pattern is something millions of people experience, but the good news is you don't have to be stuck there. Today, we're going to dive deep into some powerful techniques from a field called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, to help you reclaim control over your thoughts and ultimately your life. We'll learn how to identify, challenge, and reframe those pesky negative thoughts. It's not about ignoring the bad stuff or forcing yourself to be positive. It's about learning to see things more clearly, more realistically, and with a lot more self-compassion. So if you're ready to break free from the grip of negative thinking, stick around. This could be a game changer. First things first, what exactly are these negative thoughts? In CBT, we often call them automatic negative thoughts, or ants for short. And that's a great name for them, because they can feel just like an army of ants invading your mental picnic. They pop into your head automatically, without you even trying, and they are almost always biased and unhelpful. These ants aren't just random bad moods. They often follow specific, predictable patterns. Recognizing these patterns is the first crucial step toward changing them. Let's go through some of the most common ones. One of the biggest culprits is called all-or-nothing thinking, or black and white thinking. This is when you see things in extremes. If you're not perfect, then you're a total failure. For example, you might get one critical comment on a project you worked hard on and think, "This whole project is a disaster." You completely ignore all the positive feedback you received. Life is rarely that simple. It's full of shades of gray. Then there's overgeneralization. This is when you take one single negative event and turn it into a never-ending pattern of defeat. You go on one bad date and think, "I'm always going to be alone. Dating is impossible for me." You're using a single piece of evidence to make a sweeping negative conclusion about your entire future. Another common one is the mental filter. This is like having a special pair of glasses that only lets you see the negative details in any situation. You might get a performance review that's 95% positive, but you'll obsess over that one tiny piece of constructive criticism, letting it color your entire perception of your success. You filter out all the good stuff and magnify the one negative thing. We also have disqualifying the positive. This is a step beyond the mental filter. It's not just that you ignore the positive, you actively turn it into a negative. Someone gives you a compliment and you think, "They're just being nice." You get a promotion and you tell yourself, "It was just luck, I didn't really deserve it." You find reasons to believe that your accomplishments don't count, which keeps you feeling inadequate. And who can forget jumping to conclusions? This comes in two main flavors: mind reading and fortune telling. Mind reading is when you assume you know what other people are thinking, usually something negative about you. "My boss was quiet in the meeting. She must think my idea was stupid." Fortune telling is when you predict a negative outcome without any real evidence. "I know I'm going to fail this exam, so why even bother studying?" There's also magnification and minimization, sometimes called the binocular trick. You put your failures under a microscope, making them seem huge and catastrophic. But when it comes to your strengths or successes, you look at them through the wrong end of the binoculars, making them seem small and insignificant. Another tricky one is emotional reasoning. When you believe that what you feel must be true. "I feel like an idiot, so I must be an idiot. I feel anxious about flying, so it must be dangerous." Our emotions are powerful, but they are not always accurate reflections of reality. Finally, we have should statements. "I should go to the gym every day. I should have known better." These statements can make you feel guilty and frustrated. When you direct them at others, "He should have called me," they can lead to anger and resentment. They set up unrealistic expectations for yourself and the world around you. So now that we can spot these ants, what do we do about them? This is where the magic of cognitive reframing comes in. The core idea is simple. Your thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts and idle events that pop into your head. And because they're not facts, you can question them, challenge them, and change them. Let's walk through the process, step by step. The first step is to catch the thought. You need to become a detective of your own mind. Pay attention to your moods. When you feel a sudden shift, a wave of anxiety, a pang of sadness, a flash of anger, stop and ask yourself, what was I just thinking? At first, this might be difficult. These thoughts are automatic for a reason, but with practice, you'll get better at catching them in the act. It can be incredibly helpful to write them down in a journal, just a simple log. The situation, the emotion you felt, and the automatic thought that came with it. For instance, let's say the situation is, a friend didn't reply to your text message. The emotion is anxiety and a little bit of anger. The automatic thought is, she's ignoring me. Must have done something to upset her. She doesn't care about our friendship anymore. Notice the ants here? We've got mind reading, jumping to conclusions, and maybe even some catastrophizing. Okay, so you've caught the thought. Step 2 is to check the thought. This is where you put that thought on trial. You become the lawyer, examining the evidence for and against it. Ask yourself some critical questions. What is the evidence that this thought is true? Well, the evidence is that she hasn't replied. That's it. Now, what is the evidence that this thought is not true? Well, she's a busy person with a job and a family. Maybe her phone is off. Maybe she saw the text, but got pulled into something else and forgot to reply. Maybe she hasn't even seen it yet. We've been friends for years, and she's always been there for me. She's never intentionally ignored me before. You can also ask, what kind of thinking pattern am I falling into here? I'm mind reading. I'm assuming I know she's upset without any proof. I'm fortune telling that our friendship is in trouble. And what's a more realistic or balanced way to look at this situation? A more balanced view would be, I don't know why she hasn't replied yet. There could be 100 different reasons, and most of them have nothing to do with me. I'll wait and see. Jumping to conclusions is only making me feel anxious for no reason. This leads us to step 3. Change the thought. This is the reframing part. You're not trying to replace a negative thought with a ridiculously positive one. It's like she's probably planning a surprise party for me. That's not believable. The goal is to create a new thought that is more balanced, realistic, and compassionate. Based on our evidence checking, a good reframe could be, it feels uncomfortable when I don't get a quick reply, but I know my friend is busy. She probably just hasn't had a chance to get back to me. Our friendship is strong, and a delayed text doesn't change that. Can you feel the difference? The first thought creates anxiety and self-doubt. The reframed thought acknowledges your feeling of discomfort, but grounds you in a more rational and calming reality. It reduces the emotional charge and allows you to move on with your day without spiraling. Let's try another example. Imagine you made a mistake at work. The automatic thought is, I'm so incompetent, I'm going to get fired. I can't do anything right. This is a classic cocktail of all or nothing thinking, magnification, and fortune telling. Let's catch it. Okay, got it. Let's check it. What's the evidence? I made a mistake on this one task. What's the evidence against the thought? I've successfully completed hundreds of other tasks. My boss has praised my work in the past. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. Making one mistake doesn't make me incompetent. It makes me human. There's no actual evidence I'm going to get fired over this. Now, let's change it. The reframe could be, I made a mistake, and that feels frustrating. However, this one error doesn't define my overall competence. I'll focus on what I can learn from this and how to fix it. I am a capable person who is allowed to be imperfect. This new thought is not only kinder, but also more productive. It moves you from a state of panicked paralysis into a mode of problem solving and growth. This process takes practice. It's like building a new muscle. At first, it will feel slow and deliberate. You might need to physically write down the steps every single time. But the more you do it, the more automatic the new, healthier process becomes. Eventually, you'll be able to catch, check, and change a negative thought in a matter of seconds, right inside your own head. The army of ants that once seemed so overwhelming will start to look like just a few scattered insects that you can easily brush away. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate all negative thoughts forever. That's impossible. The goal is to change your relationship with them. It's about recognizing that a thought is just a thought, and you have the power to decide how much weight you give it. By consistently practicing these CBT techniques, you are rewiring your brain to default to more balanced, rational, and self-compassionate thinking patterns. You are taking back the controls and choosing not to let automatic negativity run your life. It's a journey, not a destination, but it is one of the most empowering journeys you can take. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on mental well-being. Take care.